Welcome to Jakey 411. So the Raiders played today, and they played against is the Washington Commanders. So the Raiders lost the game today. So I'm going to start off on the offensive side. Yeah, so the Raiders offense couldn't get anything going. Like, let me give you an example. When the Raiders wanted to run the football, and the Raiders couldn't really get any yards on the play. So the running game couldn't get anything going because the Washington Commander defense was just playing dominance in the run defense. So the Raiders couldn't get nothing going with that. And then on top of that, and the Raiders had some penalties as well on offense, where our offensive linemen had some holding calls and they had some penalties there, and it wasn't a good day. Something I would like to talk about next is Geno Smith. Geno Smith can be he can be a great quarterback for the Raiders, but the downside is in the Raiders offensive lineman couldn't even protect him much. And he couldn't get anything going. He couldn't really do much out there. When he threw the football, he threw in double coverage out there and just it wasn't a good day. But on the other hand, and the offensive lineman couldn't even protect their quarterback. And then Geno Smith, he couldn't really get out of the pocket much. Geno Smith didn't really try to get out of the pocket much, so he could be able to help the offensive team be able to march down the field and make sure to help the team go out there and play and go out there and get touchdowns out there. And they had too many sacks. No, Geno Smith had too many sacks today. It was not a good day. And then the question I have is, Geno Smith, is he the next Gardner Minshew as the Raider quarterback this year? Uh, comment down in the chat. What do you think? So, and then some of the play calling the Raiders did, and they did plays like behind the line of scrimmage, and then I wasn't impressed with those play calling, like going behind the line of scrimmage. So yes, go Raiders. Yep, go Raiders. So some of the play calling, I wasn't too impressed with the Raiders play calling. Like I'll give you an example. When the Raiders threw their football behind the line of scrimmage, and they couldn't really get anything going with that. And then also when the Raiders gave their football to Tucker, and he couldn't get any yards with the play. And they were trying to find different avenues how they could get him going. But he did get touchdowns out there. But it wasn't much much today. Like example, I mean, no example is like it's um. Well, he didn't really get to football much. I do understand he was able to get touchdowns out there, but but the Raiders play calling wasn't very. No, while the Raiders play calling wasn't great today, and the Raiders kept on trying to run their football. They were trying to do all. They were trying to run their football like a Pete Carroll and Jim Kelly. If the running plays can if the running plays aren't working and you can't get anything going, please try to find different ways how you could get the running plays going. Please do not just call the same 3 or 4 types of running plays. And then also Chip Kelly. Please try to keep the playbook the simplest as possible. And the Raiders do not have the offensive lineman where we could be able to get the running game going. I do understand, and you're trying to get the young running back going, and you're trying to find different ways how you can get the running game going, but the Raiders don't have a offensive lineman for the running game, so please try to adjust every football game what you gotta do to get the offense going, so we can be able to go and get touchdowns out there where we can see Geno Smith have more communication with his offensive linemen where they're on the same page and their play calling is and their play calling is being improved. So those are some of the things I would like to see them work on. Okay, now I'm gonna adjust to the defensive side. Man, the Raiders could not stop the running game. What happened to the Raiders defense? Man, it was not a great day on defense. I do understand Pete Carroll was having he was having some communication with his defense during the game, but when the Washington Commanders wanted to run the football, Raiders could not stop the running game, and the Raiders missed tackles. Well, too many times during the game. Like I'll give you an illustration. When the Raiders were able to, uh, were able to punt bodies to the running back, the Raider couldn't even stop the running back. He just kept running and running and gain as many yards as he can. Raiders, please, please please work on his proper tackling. We need to improve his proper tackling. And there were about like 4 or 5 times during the game, and the Raiders just trying to cause a fumble out there, where they're just trying to strip their football from their players out there, and they're trying to do that. I do understand you want to do that, but if you cannot stop the running plays, no, and you cannot stop the running plays, please do not do that. Please just go and tackle the running back. Yeah, I do actually agree with that. So, anyhow, so then the next I wanted to mention is in the Raiders defensive lineman, and and the Raiders had a hard time getting after the quarterback. And the Raiders didn't really put a whole lot of pressure to their quarterback, Marcos Mariota, and he was able to run their football as many times as he wanted to, and the Raiders couldn't stop their backup quarterback. It was not a good day. And then second, I want to mention is Max Crosby. Max Crosby hasn't had his first sack of the season. I do understand Max Crosby is uh, Max Crosby is trying to dominate out there, but every time he tries to get after the quarterback or tries to get after the running back, they just double team him. Pete Carroll and Patrick Graham, please have, please, please adjust your playbook for next week so you can figure out different ways that you can get after the quarterback and then try to have Max Crosby get his first sack of the season. But please try to find different avenues also where we could get the defense going. But then I noticed during the game as well, and Raiders left too many wide open players out there. It was just not a good day for the Raiders defense. And then on top of that, the Raiders have some penalties out there where we have some personal fouls out there where the Raiders when they did the hard hit, but and the Raiders did one of the players on defense I saw it, he went and gave a hard hit, but it was helmet to helmet play and then that turned into a penalty. That is not cool. But then the other one too is I don't know how we had like two or three offside calls on defense. It just like it was not a good day for the Raiders team today. And then and then also I want to mention is Pete Carroll. Can you please trying to get something trying to get something going with the Raiders team next week when we play against the Chicago Bears. And then also I like to see Morris, Pete Carroll and Patrick Graham having more communication out there where they're trying to find different avenues, different ways where they can adjust the defense so they can figure out how to get the momentum going on defense where they could be able to dominate out there, be able to go out there and being able to show the league this year, and the Raider defense going to be a dominant defense this year, where they're gonna go out there and they're gonna play really well. So so the Raider didn't play well today. I wasn't really impressed on the performance today. So before I go, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and then also subscribe to the channel. My goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers. Talk to you all later. Bye now. And then also, thanks for joining the live stream. Hopefully, I was able to answer your question well. So, talk to you all later. Bye now.